Hello, my name is Dale. I'm one of the pastors here at Redeemer Bible Church, and it's my pleasure to be with you here for the Daily Word. If you would, I'm assuming, I should say, that you've already read your daily reading in John chapter 17. So I'm going to highlight the last portion of that prayer when Jesus prays for all believers. But I do want to briefly talk about what is happening in John chapter 17. So, you have Jesus here at the very end of the upper room discourse. He has shared communion. He has told his followers that he is leaving them. I'm sure they're confused. I'm sure they're befuddled. They're trying to figure out what's happening. They're sad. And then you have Jesus in this very intimate time with his Father. He prays. And they're there to hear the prayer. And I'm sure that they heard many prayers. We often see in the scripture, Jesus goes off and he goes off alone and he prays. But I'm sure that there were moments in the 3 years ministry of Christ with those disciples that they saw him model prayer. And we see that in the scripture. And he even tells us how to pray, right? Earlier in the book of John. But here, there's something different. Jesus, at the very beginning of this prayer in John 17, he prays for himself. Those first 5 verses, he prays for himself. And then he transitions and he prays for his disciples, those men in the room, those men in that upper room who just broke bread with him, who just watched Judas leave, and who were now, like I said earlier, just a little confused about what's happening. And then from there, he prays for all believers, those people that the disciples in that room would ultimately reach because of the spreading of the gospel. Jesus is pouring out his heart in front of his disciples, and we get to hear it. His heart for his disciples, his heart for his Father, and his heart for all believers. So I should have opened my Bible before I hit record on this, I guess, but I do want to turn to the Gospel of John, and I want to go to chapter 17, and I want to read the last portion of this prayer, and I want to talk briefly about it with you, and see if we can draw out a couple interesting things. So, beginning in verse 20, Jesus says this. Let's go up to verse 19, or actually verse 17. He said, Lord, sanctify them in truth, meaning his disciples. Sanctify them in truth. Your word is truth. As you sent me into the world, I also have sent them into the world. For their sakes, I sanctify myself, that they themselves also may be sanctified in truth. I have set myself apart for them, for their sake, so that they will be set apart for truth and in truth. Then Jesus transitions and he says this, I do not ask on behalf of these alone, but for those also who believe in me through their word, meaning their testimony. These disciples who are going to go out and give testimony of what they've seen, what they've witnessed, what the gospel is. They're going to go give testimony. People are going to come to faith. I'm now going to pray for them, Father, that they may all be one, even as you, Father, are in me and I in you, that they also may be in us. So there's a unity. Just like, Father, you and I are united, I want this church, I want these people, these believers to be united in us so that the world may believe that you sent me. So there's a so what? There's a why here. Why is unity so important to Jesus? Why is he praying for unity to the Father for us on our behalf? Because it is a testimony to the world. It's a testimony to the world of the power of the gospel. Verse 22, the glory which you have given me, I have given to them, that they may be one, just as we are one. I in them and you in me, that they may be perfected in unity, so that the world may know that you sent me and love them even as you have loved me. Father, I desire that they also, whom you have given me, be with me where I am, so that they may see my glory, which you have given me. For you loved me before the foundation of the world. He's now praying, Father, I pray there's coming a day where they're going to be with me in heaven, in the millennium and in heaven. They're going to be with me forever, so I can share with them, so they can see what you have done for me. That's the heart of Christ for his church. O righteous Father, although the world has not known you, yet I have known you, and these have known that you sent me. And I have made your name known to them, and will make it known, so that the love with which you love me may be in them, and I in them. So, that's Jesus' prayer for me and for you. That we would be united to him and to the Father. That we would be united in what? We would be united in the truth about who God is and about who Jesus is, the God-man. That we would be united in that. And the one thing I want to say about unity, and I get this from a commentary from Warren Wiersbe, and I'm going to read it. Here's what he says. This is Warren Wiersbe in the New Testament outline. He says, Christ also prays for unity of his church. And here's what he says. There is a vast difference between unity, oneness of heart and spirit, and uniformity, everybody exactly alike. Warren goes on to say, Christ never prayed that all Christians would belong to one world church or one world organization. Organizational mergers may bring about organizational uniformity, but they cannot guarantee unity. Unity comes from life within, not from pressure without. That is a timely word from Warren Wiersbe. Unity comes from within. Uniformity comes from pressure from the outside. And when you look at what's happening in the church today, you see a lot of pressure. You see a lot of pressure for uniformity. You do not see or hear a call for unity. Now, it's in the name of unity that they're trying to make everybody uniformed, but this is a good word from Warren Wiersbe, and this is an important message to state. The unity that Christ is looking for is the unity surrounded in and through and because of the gospel and the gospel alone, not for social issues or anything in that manner. It's not a pressure. You don't get unity through pressure. You get unity out of the heart, out of oneness of thought and spirit. You do not get unity through peer pressure or being conformed through the ideas and preferences of other people. So I'm going to leave that right where it is, and I'm going to let you, if you want, leave a comment. That's fine. If you disagree with me, leave a comment. That's fine. But the difference between unity and uniformity is real, and it's an important distinction that I really appreciate that Warren Wiersbe makes here in his outline. So tomorrow, Jesus is arrested. And we will talk about that then. We'll see you guys soon.